Preschool teachers utilize a less structured approach to learn when compared to elementary school teachers. Some qualities for preschool teachers are that teacher should be a role model, an ideal teacher who, through his thought, words, and deeds, give an impression of an honest, upright life. Every teacher must have a good personality. Teacher should be radiant, pleasing, and impressive in personal appearance and should have refined and pleasant manners. The teacher should have good mental and physical health. Teacher should have sound social philosophy. A teacher should possess knowledge of the methodology of early childhood education and must have the required professional training. The teacher should be accountable for the progress of the children he teaches, and some other qualities like honesty, punctuality, and the knowledge of the psychology is also necessary for the preschool teachers. As we decided yesterday, there are so many other qualities in a preschool teachers. Next, pre-primary teachers training. It is very necessary that the primary teacher should be trained. The success of a failure of a preschool teachers depend on the teachers who is the backbone of the preschool. The achievement of the development plan of preschool education depends to a large extent on the quality of the teacher education program in the country. It is important to have extensive teachers training program and improve the existing ones to promote quality education in our country. Because the training is very necessary and very important for the quality improvement. Some components of pre-primary teachers training program are subject matter studies, pedagogical studies, in-class teaching experiences. Like subject matter studies which empower teachers with the subject and knowledge base that they will then transmit to their students. Pedagogical studies which equip teachers with the skill for effective teaching. In-class teaching experiences and academically organized opportunities for them to practice teaching in a classroom. Many employers now prefer to hire preschool teachers who have completed certificate or diploma program in early childhood education. The National Council for Teacher Education, that is NCTE, recognized diploma in early childhood education of 2 years duration after senior secondary, or we can say the 12th, as a teacher education program for the preparation of the preschool teachers. A number of NCT recognized institutions are offering this program in the country. Traditional colleges and universities offered bachelor's degree program and postgraduate diploma program in early childhood education, which are also appropriate for individuals who wish to become preschool teachers. Now, objectives of pre-primary teachers training. What are the objectives of pre-primary teacher training? To enable the teacher trainee to develop understanding of the psychological concept, principles governing early childhood and their relevance to early childhood education, the principle and techniques of child care, the principles related to systematic organization of institution, the stage appropriate activities and learning experiences, the knowledge of the psychology, the inputs that could be pulled from the natural, physical, and psychological environment that could be utilized for the education of child, the role of parents, teachers, and their agencies in enriching early childhood education and care, techniques of evaluating development of children in terms of stage appropriate development task, principle and techniques of child study, to develop in the teacher trainee the ability to apply the above qualities, organizing and executing program in realistic classroom situation, to develop in teachers trainee healthy attitude towards children and their development, empathy with the needs and problems of children, interest in programs for child development and care, attitudes helpful for maintaining healthy relations with the parents and the community and other agencies associated with the education of young children, to develop in the teacher trainee the skill to organize program and maintain and use records properly, design and execute stage appropriate activities and learning experiences, identify and diagnose difficulties, deficiencies, identify and pull resources from the environment and utilize them, operate audiovisual equipments, coordinate program of various agencies systematically, conduct evaluation efficiently using appropriate techniques and tools, give first aid and perform the child care activities in case of emergency, and conduct case studies of children facing problems. So these are the parts of training of pre-primary schools, or as we can say that the pre-primary school teachers. Now, educational requirement to become a preschool teachers. As we discussed yesterday, the educational qualification requirement for the preschool teachers is higher secondary, or we can say that senior secondary, and DLED, diploma in elementary education, or postgraduate diploma in pre-primary education. Skill required for a preschool teachers. So the preschool teachers should have good communication skill to understand the needs of the students. They should be able to reach up to the student and educate them. They should have good interpersonal skills to deal with the parents, teachers and staff. Preschool teachers must be well equipped to meet the child's needs. The curriculum for the all-round development of the preschoolers are designed by the teachers and includes a variety of activities to improve their skill because as we know at this stage the education imparted through activities and students have the keen interest in activities. Preschool teachers should be at ease when they interact with small children and genuinely enjoy spending time with them. They should be aware of diversity, that is, children come from different culture and religious backgrounds. Flexibility, patience, organization, and creativity are also helpful qualities. Now, professional ethics of preschool teachers. It has well defined functions and well identified nature and scope. It has a philosophy of its own. There are well organized and fully recognized professional organization of teachers. As professional practitioners, teachers too are being substantially paid in recent years. The work of a teacher is presently demanding specialized professional preparation based on a technology of instruction. Students spend a great part of their life at a school, and so school contribute significantly into overall quality, or we can say that the all-round development of the child. Thus, personality of a teacher is of crucial importance. It is good if the impact is positive and brings motivation for students. The quality of teaching profession is very important. Many teachers are forgetting their real professional functions and are engaging themselves in local politics or other activities which are non-academic. Hence, it is high time to develop a set of professional ethics to uphold the honor and prestige of the teaching profession. It may include teachers should do nothing that cause disgrace to them personally or to the professionally collectively. Teachers should adhere strictly to the codes of conduct established by tradition and by the great teachers of the past. Teachers should serve truthfully and honestly to realize the objectives and functions that are expected of them. Teachers should be conscious and noble minded as far as their professional activities are concerned. Teachers should not make the students suffer and should not be a part to the injustice done to them either by the school administrators or the authorities concerned. Teachers should respect their fellow teachers and should never speak ill of or do harm to them. Teachers should try to continuously strengthen their professional competencies so that they can serve the students to the maximum possible. In India, attempts have been made to evolve a code of professional ethics for teachers. The National Policy of Education 1986 had recommended development of such a code, and The new education policy 2020 is also emphasis on quality. In pursuance of this recommendation, the NCRT developed the code in collaboration with All India Federation of Primary and Secondary Teachers organizations and published it in 1997, and recently the NCT has developed the updated version of the code. These codes include statements of teachers' obligations towards students, parents, society, colleagues, profession, and the nation. So, this is very important. If we impart quality knowledge to the students, the training of the teachers must be quality based. Next is professional competencies of preschool teachers. Teachers' professional competency is an important component of the teaching learning process. The components of teaching professional competency includes of knowledge, teaching skills, beliefs, and feelings. Dimensions of teacher professional competencies. Out of many dimensions of teacher professional competencies, there are 5 dimensions which is very important. First is activity based teaching. Second is child centered teaching. Next is teaching learning material and display. Fourth is evaluation strategies and remedial teaching. And fifth is child centered education. Measurement of teacher professional competencies. So, teacher evaluation can be done in different ways based on construction and data gathering devices, which can be of 4 types. First is qualities of the person, as in personality ratings. Second is in terms of interpersonal qualities of desirable personal characteristics. Third is from data collected about professional competencies. Fourth is evaluation developed from studies of the product. Now, ability of self-criticism. Self-criticism is to note the things critical or important to one's own beliefs, thoughts, actions, behavior, or results which can form part of private personal reflection or a group discussion. Once you value your progress, you should be able to criticize yourself. The art of self-criticism is essential for learning from mistakes and gaining an improved perspective on life. Self-criticism can be developed as consider your intentions, be honest, avoid guilt, don't judge people by the same way, self-improvement, know your value, seek opinion of other, don't let pride get in the way. The self-evaluation by the teacher is an integral part of the teaching as a profession. To make the work efficient, a set of rating scale is used. Self-evaluation strategy for effective teachers is a resource for classroom practitioners, pre-service teachers, and teacher trainers. Now we will discuss about the role of parents in education. As we all know that the role of parents is very important in education and for the development of the child. If we observe our locality, we see that the child spend a major part of the day in the family and community, and their influence plays an important part in the development of his habits, attitudes, and behavior. Therefore, it is therefore important to build a PTA in the school, that is Parent Teacher Association. If such associations and conferences are established, then the parent will never feel that the moment the child is sent to the school, all the obligation towards the child ceases. The teacher should also understand how immensely their aims of teaching are furthered by the wholehearted cooperation of the parents. The responsibility of the school towards home is threefold. Firstly, it should know the background of the child. Second, it should develop in the child a deep appreciation of the role of family in the total pattern of school interaction. Third is the school should cooperate with the family, directing social process for the wholesome development of the personality. The parent-teacher conferences and associations are important program for the development of school-community relationship. The PTA can act as a very good advisory body, serving as a means of sampling representative through it in the community regarding school. Through the PTA, the teachers are able to get a lot of things done regarding children, their family, and the society to which they belong. So, the role of parents is very important of the child's education. What do the parents learn from the teachers and teachers learn from parents? We see that through interaction with teachers, the parents are able to know how the child is getting along with the others in the school and in the classroom, how the child is progressing in the schoolwork, how the child is taking part in the school programs, what attitude does the child have in the school, and what about the discipline of the child, what special interest in the child have, what recent changes have you noticed in the child, what special help might the child need, what is the level of the child participation in co-curricular activities. So these are some points regarding child. Similarly, the teacher have a lot of expectation from the parents, and more than that, they want to seek a variety of information about the children. If we analyze the situation, we come across some questions. How does the child feel about the school? How does the child spend his spare time outside the school? What particular problem the child might have? What talent, interests, and hobbies the child might have? What recent changes have the parents noticed in the child? What special help does the child need? Now, major objectives of parent teacher associations, that is PTA. On as we see that the role of parent is of utmost importance, so the school authorities should be in class contact with the parent, which may be established through PTAs. We see that the major objectives of such organizations are to meet the needs of the children at homes, school, and society, to understand the quality of home setup, to implement laws to care for and protect the children, to develop a strong relationship between the home, the school, and the society, to make joint efforts to help the child in his physical, mental, social, and emotional development. Similarly, the parent attitudes and aspirations also play an important role in developing a lot, a lot of potential ability in children. International evidence suggested that parents with high aspirations are more involved in their children's education. If we observe the level of parents' involvement in child's school activities, we see that it is the mother who keep in touch with the class teachers rather than the father. So, mother who keeps the keen interest, the education of her child, programs to maintain PTA, some programs to maintain PTA, that is interpreting the school to the students. Second is school exhibitions. Third is school visits. Fourth is home visits. Fifth is news bulletin. Sixth is newsletters. Seventh is organization of a school survey program. Eighth is organization of social service program. Ninth is positive phone calls. 10th is report to home. Now, the first programs to maintain PTA, interpreting the school to the students. Most parents get the impression about the school in which their children are studying, not from direct interaction with the school, but from the comments given by their children, which may be casual talk. Second is school exhibitions. One of the most effective methods of interpreting the school to the parents is by conducting school exhibitions. The school authorities can conduct annual exhibitions of the student, work in the school and keep it open to the public. The parents also can participate in it. School visits. Next is school visits. In order to make better public participation, the school authorities should conduct school visitation program for the parents, during which the parents should visit the school where their children are studying. Schools can organize activities on a particular day or week with the slogan Visit Your School. During such activities, parents can see the operation of the school. Such visits will become fruitful if the teachers and authorities try to conduct a follow-up to those programs. Next is the home visits. If you are a student and one of your teacher is coming to your home to inquire about your studies or absence from the school, what will be your feelings towards the teacher and towards the school? We are sure that the child will develop a positive, affectionate attitude towards school, and thereby he will con- concentrate on his studies. Such occasional visits by the teacher to the homes of their children will give a chance to know about the general physical condition in the home and appraise the child's relationship with his siblings, his parents, and others who live in the home. Next is news bulletin. The school can make regular contact with the parents by sending bulletins related to the school activities. Regular bulletins can be sent to the parents to report on significant aspects of work being done in the school. Next is news, newsletters. Newsletters can provide a steady stream of information from the school to the home and the society. A quality newsletter may well be the least expensive way of information families and society of school activities and expectations. Next is the organization of a school survey program. Other than teaching, the teachers can do a lot of research and extension work by making use of the community and its resources. They can investigate about the burning problems of the community. Next is the organization of social service program. Through the activities like NCC and NSS in the schools can obtain the cooperation of the community and society and form a social service league. Next is positive phone calls, imaging the impact when parents receive phone calls, information them about the position of his or her child's status in the classroom or informing about any other programs to be held in the school. Surely, such phone calls will have a good impact on the parents' attitude towards the school, letting them know how much progress their children have made in recent weeks or asking if they need any information about school programs and expectations. Home school communication is greatly increased through personal contacts using mobile phones. When a telephone call from school carries information that is positive, the relationship between the home and the school is improved. It gives great encouragement to all. Next is report to home. The school can send periodical reports regarding the progress of a child to his guardian or even the parents can come to school to sign the report. So these are the program to maintain PTA. Now importance of parental involvement. We have, if we analyze the importance of parental involvement in the teaching learning process, especially in the lower classes, we can see that it is not the school authorities alone who are benefited, but the benefits also reach the parents knowingly or unknowingly, and also to the community and the society. Benefits for the children. Children are benefited as it is easier for children to learn when they get encouragement at home. They will do better and achieve more when their parents are involved. Children get access to more activities in and out of school when they are more adults to help. Their concern can be sorted out quickly when their parents have positive relationship with school staff. They are happy when their parents are enjoying events in the school. Now benefits for parents. Parents are benefited as their children do better when they are involved. They are better able to help and encourage their children. They have more information about their children's education. Parents can build their own confidence and skills. Where there is a positive relationship between parents and their child's school, there are benefits all round. Parents are reassurance that their children are receiving good education. Now benefits for the school. School benefit in the following ways. Parents bring skills which complement teachers' skill and expertise. Parents contribute their time, so together parents and teachers are able to do more activities with pupils than teachers alone can do. Parent involvement will improve pupils' attainment and behavior. Many parents have ideas about how the school can best support the children, which can be utilized by the betterment of the institution. Teachers have people with whom they can talk our ideas and get help when needed. Parents can contribute in developing plans for the schools. Many parents may have connection with the education department, which can be utilized in implementing unique program in the school. Parent, especially retired from various departments, can give advice in organizing several activities for the betterment of the school. Many parents are able to help the teachers in contacting other parents. Now, benefits for the society. The benefits of the society are school programs can strengthen the society and hence the development of the children. School programs can contribute towards community health, culture, recreation, social sport. Now, difficulties in involving parents, or we can say that the problems in involving parents, the teachers get frustrated of trying to involve parents and getting little response. Thus, teachers conclude that parents don't care about their children education. Lack of time is the major impediment for most parents. Working parents are often unable to attend school events during the day. The other barriers related to parent, parental involvement are family circumstances. Parent may find it particularly difficult to attend meetings if they have a child who is disabled, have a baby or other caring responsibilities. Work shifts have a complex family structure with parents who are separated, and some might have new partners. Next is geography. Geographic separation is yet another important barrier in getting parent involved in the school activities. For example, children coming from travel or hilly areas have to travel long distance. Lack of confidence. We see that many parents may feel uncomfortable in school surroundings. This may be due to unpleasant memories of their own school days, lack of knowledge or skill putting them at out of place and having difficulty with reading or writing. Next is unfamiliarity. Many parents feel bad about being a member of the formal parent body. They think that it is not for them. Next is major factors of parental involvement. Any sort of parental involvement in the education of children will have three major factors. They are parents' beliefs about what is important, necessary, or permissible for the children, the extent to which parents believe that the parent have a positive influence on their children's education, and next is parents' perceptions that their children and school want them to be involved. Now, types of involvement. Parents can involve in the teaching learning process as create daily routine. As we know, child develops the quality of discipline from the parent from early days onwards. So at home they should try to provide fixed time and space to play, fixed time and a quiet place to study, assigning responsibility for household tasks, being firm about bedtime and having dinner together. This will enhance the development of positive attitude towards studies. And second type of involvement is learning through hard work. The small children learn by communicating through questioning, conversation, and demonstrating that achievement is a result of hard work. Next is express high but realistic expectations for achievement. Most parents will have a high aspiration regarding the child's achievement, and if the child is not able to rise to that level, they become exhausted. The parents should set goals that are attainable by the child. And next is encourage progress of the school. Parents should show interest in the child's progress at school, discuss value of a good education and possible career options. They should keep in touch with the teachers. Now, activities for involving parents in children's home learning activities. Some activities for involving parents in children's home learning activities are home reading. Children bring home a book to read. Activity bag. The bag contains 2 or 3 hands-on activities which can develop different skills. Each bag contains a letter to the parent with the direction required for the activities. The activities bag with the instructions are sent home with each child for a week or two, and once completed it is returned and then he gets a new activity bag. Third is home kits. Theme based activity kits are provided to the child and it is completed in a week and returned. Next is family lending library. The parent have an opportunity to check out books, materials and audio or video tapes where the teacher demonstrates a skill. Children also have the opportunity to check out books, magazines, toys and home learning activity kits. The material they need can be taken home and worked on. Now, links with the society. Significance of the link between the parents, the school and the society. The school and PTA of school have positive relationship with the preschool group in their community and parents with children in this group are welcomed at school and parent activities. Information about the school is available in other community venues such as libraries, community centers, and post offices. People from all walks of life will start discussion about the success of the school. We see that they will be in competitive spirit to attain success in their school. The school provides additional help for families that need it from the numerous available services like speech and language therapy, health service, educational psychologists, counselors. The school can also make use of venues like swimming pool, sports and recreation club, playground, theaters and museum of the community for some activities. Now some other points regarding understanding child development. To study scientifically the internal and external behavior of the child and to predict, control and guide the child psychologists adopt a number of methods and techniques. These methods can be broadly classified into 2 categories. First is cross-sectional study and second is longitudinal study. Now first, cross-sectional study, simultaneous study of different age group within a short period or a group of children at one age period is selected for study. This method helps in obtaining normative data and prepares norms for various areas of development for different age group in a very short period and can help to guide children effectively. So this is cross-sectional study, and second is longitudinal study. The longitudinal study that takes a lot of time to complete. The results are somewhat accurate than a cross-sectional study. The child is expected to behave in a particular way during different stages of growth. Thus, it is important that parents and teachers learn about their child's current level of development and the tasks and behaviors that are appropriate to the stage. Thus, parents and teachers ask the child to do things the child can succeed at without excessive struggle and help the child feel good and create a sense of competition competence. Sorry. This also helps to know if the child is lagging behind other children of his age. The children reared by parents who takes development into consideration and also learn to consider the limits of other, and thus they see and accept others. In order to monitor the development changes, the teacher can use various techniques and tools. Some are: first is observation, second is case studies, and third is interviews. So these are the three techniques through to monitor the development changes. The teacher can use these techniques. First is observation. It is the oldest and most commonly used method of child monitoring and child research. Observation provides the first insight into the individual's way of life, his physical health, social adjustment, and overall approaches to situations. For example, suppose a preschool teacher wants to know about the behavioral pattern of the children sitting in the classroom. He should observe them carefully. Observation can be used to assess individual differences among children, to know about the personality of a particular child, for studying the child in depth, to have a deeper understanding of the child and its behavior. Now, types of observation. First is informal observation. These are usually this type of observation usually carried out by the classroom teacher to evaluate child's performance, his work, his play, and his relationship with others in the group. As the name suggested, it is informal in its organization. Parent and psychologist can conduct such observation to monitor child's progress in different stages of growth. In order to assess the progress, teachers and parents can use standardized chart and can compare the progress made by their child in the particular domain. Now, second type of observation is time sampling observation. In some situations, time sampling observation, that is observation for a particular duration or specific short period, is conducted. Studies and researches have shown that such time sampling observation provides more typical picture of behavior than the long period of observation. Sometimes sampling observation can be used to check the developmental domain of the children. For example, we can conduct a time sampling observation if we want to know about the responses towards a particular object during a particular age level. Suppose a preschool teachers want to observe certain traits of behavior of students, then he can use checklists or schedule either standard or prepared by him for his purpose, and the observation will be more objective. Now, unstructured observation. In the case of unstructured observation, the child is studied in the natural setting when children go about their daily activities in a spontaneous manner. For example, a child may be observed while he is playing with his friends. So, this is unstructured observation. Now, structured observation. In the case of structured observation, the observer looks for one or more specific and well-defined pattern of behavior by simply recording the frequency of its occurrence. For example, a preschool teacher observes the child during the midday meal by using various mechanical devices and audio video aid like one-way vision screen, sound recorder, photographic dome, motion picture camera. Subjective and biased judgment can be avoided and the method can be made more accurate, objective and scientific. The duration of observation may be divided into different parts of the duration of the each part of the observation may be increased as per need and requirements. Now, recording. The procedure of recording of the judgment should be scientific and systematic. Observation may be recorded by two different procedures. One is systematic recording, second is anecdotal records. Systematic recording, in order to observe the behavior of a child, we have to select the location first, then we have to select appropriate time for observation, and if necessary, use standardized checklist for or schedule. The systematic recording is particularly beneficial when one tries to pick out children who need special help in some areas. Anecdotal record. Now, anecdotal record. An anecdotal record is a word picture of significant incident of child's life which helps to know him in detail. It records the actual situation observed. Anecdotal records help in understanding to the role of past experiences in formulating the style of life of the child. Now, the 5 minute short break. Okay, 5 minute short break. Hello, may I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 5 minutes. Yes. Now, some precautions before starting the observation. First is proper planning. Second is proper execution. Third is proper recording of observation. Next is immediate recording. Next is systematic observation. Now, some tools used for observation. Here we discuss only two, that is checklist and rating scale. First is checklist. A checklist is a selected list of words or sentences by which the observer records a check, mark right or wrong to denote the presence or absence of whatever is observed. When a teacher wants to test whether some aspects or traits or personality are present in a child, the teacher can use a checklist. So, in checklist, for observing the child's response in the classroom, first of all, name of the child under observation. Secondly, the male or female, that is sex. And third is age and date of birth of the child. Next is whether the child is regular in the class, yes or no. Whether the child is whether the child gives answer to the questions raised by the teachers, yes or no. If yes, whether the answers are relevant or not. It means relevant or irrelevant. Whether the child has adequate previous knowledge in the subject, yes or no. So we can prepare the checklist, mention some information like these. Second is rating skills. Suppose we want to know about the responses of the teacher towards a particular child in relation to a particular personality trait, we can use the rating scale. Rating scales means the judgment of one person by another person for the assessment of a particular child. The rating scale may be given to the teacher who have significant knowledge of the child. A rating scale usually consists of a set of traits like cooperativeness, punctuality, honesty. If we want to know about the honesty of a particular child, while observing the child, the rating scale is used for rating the child. Usually, the degree of responses are indicated in the numbers. It may be 1 to 3, it may be 0 to 5, it may be 1 to 6, comprising of 3.5 point, 6 point. For example, the rating scale for checking the punctuality of the child, we can prepare The rating scale, first of all, name of the teacher, second name of the child, and third is age of the child, and after the age, the sex, male or female, and after that we prepare, if we prepare three scale rating scale, then three column prepared by us, in which first column is for observation, second is always, third is sometimes, and we also include the fourth column, the never. In the column of observation, first is the child often reach late, second is the child leaves the school before time, third is the child is present in all classes. So we can pick the right place. If the child often reaches late, then we tick in always column, otherwise sometimes or never. Now advantages and limitation of the observation method. The observation method is one of the most economical method in terms of time and money, natural and flexible method for identifying the behavior of the child, reliable and variable, suitable for studying the development characteristic of children's habits, interest and other personality traits, the most suitable method to analyze the behavior of an abnormal child. Limitations of observation method. Though we have found a lot of advantages for observation, it has some limitations too, or we can say that the demerits. They are the overt expressions contribute a limited percentage of the child personality, and we are not able to observe what is happening in one's mind. Second is subjective and has personal biases. Extra emphasis may be given to one's behavior and may altogether neglect some other very important aspects. For a particular trait, the response in the morning and that in the evening or the next day will not be the same. So these are the demerits of the rating scales. Now case study. Case study, when we want to study about a particular child in detail, then we have to study about every aspect of his personality. Sometimes we have to interview the parents, friends, and in such situations we can use the case study method. Case, case study is also referred to as life history method, an investigate method or understanding and analyzing the child behavior, particularly the behavior of maladjustment, behavior of disorder, delinquents, and problem children who need treatment and counseling for their behavior. Case study method is very comprehensive and useful method. It needs the assistance of a well-trained person to record and to analyze the data. The main purpose is diagnosis and prognosis. Now, types of case study method. First is daybook method. Second is clinical case study method. Third is biographical method. First is daybook method. As the name indicates, here the development of the child is recorded day by day in a book. A teacher may record the changes that happen to the child day after day, and if it is recorded, we will get a picture about his developmental changes. It can be used to compare the development of the child with the other children and to assess development progress of the particular child. So this is the daybook method, a part of case study method, and second is clinical case study method. It is used for the diagnosis and treatment of maladjusted children. A maladjusted child is observed under different conditions and situations. After observing his activities, behavior, and reactions to different situations, it becomes easy to know the definite cause of his problematic and maladjusted behavior. In the case of clinic method, we need the assistance of a trained person to conduct case study. Next is biographical method. This method refers to the study about the child through the biographies or life histories. From the biographies of children, psychologists get hints about his future activities, his attitude towards self as well as relations, interests, life goals, and future course of action. From where can we obtain the biographic details of a child in a preschool class? No doubt it is a better to ask him or her parents and grandparents. Some suggestions for the improvement of case study. First is select a child from your own class if possible so that you can ensure high validity and objectivity. Second, while collecting the data, the pupils should not feel disturbed. He should not feel that he is culprit or he is one of his very much deviated from other students. While writing the case study report, always try to use simple language. In the case report, use both general and specific illustrations. The investigator should not attempt to apply treatment which is beyond his experiences. Now, treatment of the problem or the case. After conducting a case study, the teacher should think about the treatment also. In some cases, the teacher may give simple advice or counseling, direct treatment or psychotherapy. Third is play therapy in the case of children. Next is role play or psychodramatic techniques. Next is group therapy, occupation therapy, attitude therapy, change of environment of children. Now some advantages and limitations of case study method. First, The advantages of the case study method. We know that case study covers all the aspects of the child and so it is highly reliable than any other method. It can be used as a tool for evaluation. Suppose a child has come short of maladjustment in the classroom, then case study is the best method to know about the root causes of such maladjustment. Now, demerits of case study. We know that in the case study, we have to collect detailed information about the child and it takes a lot of time. It is time consuming method. Case study is usually meant for an individual case and ends with the diagnosis and treatment of the individual understudy. As the person conducting a case study needs to collect detailed information related to the child, he has to adopt different method, so he should be well versed in adopting different method and techniques. Now, some interview. Now we will discuss about the interview. Interview is one of the most popular method by which we can study the child behavior or we can say that used for studying child behavior. Interview is one of the easiest method of collecting data. It is done in a person-to-person interaction. Interview is a face-to-face verbal interchange in which the interviewer attempts to information or expression of opinion from another person. It requires skill and considerable experiences. An interview have three parts. First is opening part, second is the body, and third is closing part. First is opening part. Suppose you are going to interview one of your students' parents to know about a particular behavioral problem. What will be your first step? Whether you would ask directly about the problem or try to establish relationship first and then proceed. We see that the opening part of an interview is aimed at establishing rapport. Rapport means establishing connection with the person whom you are going to interview. Second is the body. After establishing a proper rapport, we can move to the body part of an interview, which is the productive phase. The interviewer does not adopt an authoritarian or dominant attitude. Third is the last part of an interview is called the closing session, where the teacher helps the subject to initiate a follow-up action with the consent of the subject. The whole interview can also be recorded for revelation. Before going to record the events, the teacher should seek the consent of the child. Now, types of interviews. There are three types of interviews. First is structured interview. Second is semi-structured interviews. Third is unstructured interviews. First is structured interview. Structured interview follow a set of rules. Each question should be read word for word by the researcher without any deviation from the schedule, and also includes bodily posture, facial expressions, and emotional effects. Reaction to participant responses should be kept to a minimum. Second is semi-structural interview. Though the interviewer is expected to cover every question in the procedure, they have some additional twist made by asking for clarification or additional information. This twist of questions occurs depending upon the nature of the answers given by the child. In the case of structure interview, suppose a child has given an unexpected answer, then there is no chance to for asking questions related to the answer. But in the semi-structured interview, the interviewer can ask questions depending upon the response deviations made by the child. This method is beneficial for it includes the ability to gain rapport and participants' trust as well as deeper understanding of responses. Now, third is unstructured interviews. In the unstructured interviews, teachers need only a checklist of topics to be covered during the interview. There is no order and no script. The interaction between the participant and the teacher is more like a conversation and then an interview. Unstructured interviews are most often used in case studies where the teacher want to find as much information as possible, and it often digs out informations. Now, advantages and limitations of the interview. First, the advantages of interviews. The advantages of interviews are interview is the best technique if the parent is an illiterate. Second, if the topic is very complicated to be understood by the child or his parents, interview techniques is suitable. Third is interviewer can go into details of the child or the person under interview. In order to record the responses of the child, interview is the most suitable techniques. Now some demerits of interview. It is expensive in terms of money and time. If the teacher is not consistent, then he might feel distressed in asking questions to the interviewee. Now, improving practices through better understanding of the children. The teacher can analyze and evaluate the process of learning, helps to know about each and every child's level of performance and help to identify the backward and slow learners. It helps the teacher to plan suitable remedial teaching method. The data collected can be used for further references. The teacher, with the help of the parents, can also design program to meet the individual behavioral and academic needs of the students. These programs usually attempt to provide a structured environment where the students experience success which is consistently rewarded. So these are the merit, demerits, and information regarding interviews. Now we will discuss about the behavioral problem in preschool children. The term behavioral problem is used to designate a deviation in behavior to those expected or approved by the group. Behavioral problem is that behavior which makes life difficult and unsatisfactory for the child and his parent. Harlock has classified problem behavior into four groups according to the way in which they interfere with the child and endanger his well-being. They are the child's efficiency, physical well-being, social adjustment, the feeling of being inadequate. The general behavioral problem found among preschool children may be thumb sucking, nail biting, bed wetting, aggression, jealousy, temper tantrums, lying, selfishness, abnormal fear. Now let us discuss some other. First is eating disorders. Second is sleeping disorders. First, eating disorder. We overcome eating disorder among our children. Let's go through some suggestions to improve the eating disorder. Provide food in a small amount. The dishes used for providing food should be beautiful, attractive. Provide complete freedom to children to select and take the quantity of food they need. Never provide sweets before and while the child is taking food. Never compel the child, especially when a new food material is given, because the child may take some time to adjust with the taste of the new food material. Before teaching them about table manner, it is better to demonstrate it to them. Next is sleeping disorder. Sleeping disorder is yet another behavioral problem among children and may lead to several health problems. Some of the causes that create problems for sleep is the familiar atmosphere, mosquitoes, other insects. Some ways to ease this problem are let the child sleep in such a place where he can sleep with ease. It is better to bath them in slight hot water before going to sleep. Never tell frightening stories or show such movies in the TV before the child is going to sleep. Never compel them to sleep only because of the reason that they have committed some mistakes. Before going to sleep, satisfy their needs like drinking water and persuade them to urinate. So, some other problems are aggressions, withdrawal, negativism, temp- temper tantrum. Now, causes of behavioral problems are the major causes of behavioral problems, especially those related to their emotional development, have been explained by many psychologists. Some of the causes are if a child suffering from genetic weakness or defects, will make him vulnerable due to stress. Sometimes the problem may be due to the conflicts between his basic drives and forbidden environment. Third is problem behavior may be due to the learned or conditioned ways. Next is some problem may be the result of the inability of failure to meet the cultural demands. For example, if we have conducted a game among the two teams, we see that the loser will display hostility, slam the ball, and sometimes may weep with disappointment. A conflict is the simultaneous arousal of two or more incompatible motives resulting in unpleasant emotions. Elements which are integral part of conflicts are the physical environment, the social environment, and the personal factors. The teacher should use several strategies to understand the misbehaviors of children like child monitoring, conducting action research, and classroom research. Now, child monitoring. In order to monitor the child behavior, the teacher can make a chart and make those behaviors that have occurred during a particular period of the time and can make necessary suggestions to rectify them. We can use a chart related to child behavior chart showing positive behaviors. In first column, we mentioned the activity like listening to teacher, second going to school, third following the rules, next is washing hands before lunch, next is participation in group activities, next is participation in group song and action song, sits undisturbed, next is respond to the questions, next is ask relevant questions, another is sleep on time, next is sit comfortable in the class. So these activities can help to child behavior to monitoring the child behavior. Now action research and classroom research. The as we know that in the classroom a teacher faces various problems which need immediate resolution. The teacher can't spend much time in reading research journals because they are not easily accessible to them or they find it very difficult to interpret them. So we need an on the spot research which is known as action research for finding immediate solution. Definition of if action research. Action research is the research undertaken by practitioners so that they may improve their practices. Some definition given by the educationists. A definition given by C.V. Good is a defined action research as a research used by teachers, supervisors, and administrators to improve the quality of their decision and action. And according to John Best, action research is focused on the immediate application and not on the development of the theory. Its purpose is to improve school practices and at the same time to improve those who wish to improve the practices. Now, the objectives of action research. First is progress in school practice. Second is progress of teachers. Third is improvement of the curriculum. Fourth is knowledge enhancement of the administrators and supervisors. Now, steps in action research. First steps of action research is defining the problem. First of all, we should know the problem and it should be understood clearly so as to go ahead with solving the problem. Second is analyze the problem. Third is hypothesizing. Fourth is designing a test of hypothesis. Next is obtaining evidences. Next is generalizing. Analyzing the problem, that is the second point. The second step is to analyze the problem thoroughly. What are the possible cause of the problem? How they are related to the teacher, such as questions should be asked to analyze the cause of the problem. Hypothesis, that is the tentative solution of the problem. The third step is to formulate hypothesis concerning the cause of solution of the problem. The hypothesis can be formulated only after thorough study of the problem. The success of action research also depends upon right hypothesizing. Next is designing a test of hypothesis. After formulating of hypothesis, we should think about the test or methods to be administered, experiment to be conducted to test the hypothesis, that is whether it is acceptable or not acceptable, or we can say the rejected. Obtaining evidence. Obtaining evidence is another step of the action research. Evidence can be obtained by adopting several strategies like interviewing the child, observing the child, or collecting information from the parents, peers, and some friends. Generalizing, once we have got the result, then such results should be applicable to all such problem situations. Ability to generalize that depends upon the authenticity of the evidences and the methods adopted for collecting the evidences. Now, outline of an action research project. While planning to conduct an action research in the preschool classes regarding any problem, it is necessary to prepare an outline of the proposed project. First, name of the teacher, name of the institution, sphere of the problem. Next is pinpoint the problem. Next is probable causes, individual differences, emotional block, father's problem, physical defects, lack of vocabularies, backwardness, differences in the age group, lack of mental ability, habits and family impressions. Then hypothesis, and then baseline data, all data relating to the physical, sociological, economic, cultural, and environmental situation of the child, including the child's history and information about his traits. Next, the tools for data collection, personal interview, questionnaire, observation schedule, anecdotal record, cumulative records. Next, action research program, a study of the child coupled with opportunities for the child to express himself or herself. Now, testing of hypothesis and evaluation. Next and last is results and generalization. On the basis of the results obtained, the generalization is made. Now, usage of research findings. There are different areas where action research can be conducted. Now, discuss some of the areas in which action research is carried out. First is study of the need of the children. Second is study of the interest of the children. Third is problem of discipline. Fourth is social problems. Fifth is problem of learning. Next is improvement of curriculum. And next is problem of teachers. So these are some problems which can be solved by the action research conducted by the teachers. So this is the action research. I think this is very important for preschool teachers also. Through this, there are so many problems can be solved by this action research. Thank you. I think today we should complete the class. I think enough. May I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I think enough. Okay. Thank you. You may leave the meeting.
Thank you.
Sir.
Thank, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Sir.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Hello, sir.